Hey friends, do you ever wonder how women kind of do what people say is like getting it all done or having it all? Or how do people balance both schedule at home with, their kids and having a job and maybe even working outside the home, which is really kind of at home now with this whole pandemic situation? I want to share with you today just a quick rundown, as quick as I can make it actually, just an example of a day in the life of me and what I do as a mom, as a business owner, as a part-time employee at another company, and what that looks like, and just some of the tips for how we run our life. Now, I know everyone's situation is different. So for me right now, my husband and I obviously live, together with our two little ones. They are 3.5 and 5.5 as of this summer. And I have pretty much been a work from home mom since they got here. I worked a full-time position a while ago. I left that position to finish a graduate program, and I've been home with my babies ever since, thankfully. And so I run a part-time network marketing business. I run my own brand, and I work part-time at a university as of now, what was outside my home, where I would go to an office every day. And that schedule was a little bit different than the one we have now. And now, obviously, we know people's schedules changes, and things and schedules are just so flexible now, and things are evolving as the weeks go by. But this is a quick example of what it looks like in my life personally, in terms of taking care of kids pretty much for like 14 hours a day, squeezing in work in between the little cracks of my day, and running a business and doing all that. So number one, morning time. If you've not read the book called The Miracle Morning, it's amazing, game changer concept that helps you just prepare and set up your day for for a day that will help you get a lot of things done and be really successful. And so the Miracle Morning idea is to do several activities that just help you get prepared. And so any of those activities can include things like journaling, reading, meditation, doing affirmations, doing yoga, some kind of exercise form, or doing another activity around your house like cleaning or preparing or something like that. The basic concept is to kind of get up earlier than everyone else in your house, which was really actually a game changer for me. In terms of getting things done. It's so nice just to wake up before the chaos of the kids starts, and you just have some time to quiet your mind and do the things to get you ready for whatever may be that day. Most of the activities that I actually do with this are in my bed. I don't actually get out of bed, because if I do, then everybody will wake up. They'll just hear me. We have really old squeaky floors. And so all of this I do in my bed. So I make sure that I have my planner next to me before I go to bed at night, and I have my phone there, of course, to just get some things done. So when I wake up, set my alarm. Most of the time that's around like 6 or 6:30. Usually I'll get awake around 7 o'clock, but I do a couple of those things just to set the day. Even if it's something simple like clean out your email, check your email box, say some affirmations to yourself, plan some social media posts, engage and comment on Facebook, and say hi to your friends and send messages and things like that will really just kind of help you feel a little bit more connected and grounded. And so my little ones, like I said, are 3 and 5. They do get up by themselves out of their own beds at this point. And so they usually crawl in with us and we hang out for a little bit of time. But then we get everybody into the bathroom, get everybody dressed, and go down for breakfast. Now, my kids are at the age where they still need some of those activities done with them, like helping. We're potty training right now. And so, you may be at the point where you have tiny babies and you're just, working with them 24/7 and you're taking care of them, or you may have a combination of some older kids that can do some things. So my life's kind of a little bit in the middle of both of those, and of course I know what they're both like. So we have breakfast then. The time that I have breakfast with my kids actually allows me to get a couple things done in the kitchen. And so I do things like clean up the dishes, put them away, clean the countertops. I can put in a load of laundry most of the time while my kids are eating breakfast. I usually try to make something for myself, of course, which I'm not really great at. I always make coffee, of course, and then we kind of just get on with the day. So what our schedule has looked like during the time of technically when school is in session, and for me, it will actually carry through most of the summer. I do plan to do academic work with my kids because they need it, and I'm happy to help them just continue to learn. So we usually in the morning would sit down and do some kind of academic schoolwork. If we could get in a solid 45 minutes or an hour, I was super happy. That was a really big win for us, to do some work with my daughter who is just finishing kindergarten. And so I would set her up with activities and I would work one-on-one with her, but then I would also set my son up with things he could do, like just simple coloring and puzzles, because he always wanted to do what big sister was doing, of course. So we usually do some kind of academic activity in the morning. Now the morning times were actually when we would go out to do things like go to the zoo, go visit friends, go to play dates, run errands, go to the store. But of course, kind of during a little bit of isolation time now, we're not doing some of those things. And so I really have tried to involve my kids with more things around the house. They love getting work and getting tasks to do. So they're super happy when we ask them to help do things. And so we just try to do as much of that as we can. And then usually when we were done with activities and playing, one-on-one and doing some schoolwork at home, we would either kind of play outside, maybe go for a walk early in the day, not very often. But then we would just kind of spend that time together in the morning. So these times when I'm with my children, I am not doing any kind of work activity at all. I do not ever sit down at the laptop, and I really try to be on my phone as little as possible when my children are awake, simply because it just isn't productive for anybody. I don't want my kids to think that my cell phone is more important than them, and I don't want me to be distracted trying to do things when I know they actually really need my attention. And so we would just try to concentrate and focus and spend dedicated time being present with each other in the mornings. Then once it comes on around to lunchtime, we have lunch together. And in my house now, we're also in between naps. So I would give you the biggest tip if you're a woman that's trying to get things done in terms of running a business at home. You have to be a nap time warrior. You have to do the hustle when your kids are asleep. That is pretty much the only way I really ever got both my dissertation written, finished grad school, and started my own business, was when my children were asleep. And so our nap time / quiet time, because my kids are phasing out of naps, they do still sleep a little bit, which I'm super grateful for, is usually between 1 and 3 in the afternoons. And so we would just do quiet time then. I would do hustle, and every single time I sat down on my laptop to do things, I would have a task. I have checklists for pretty much all the procedures I do for my business. And so I would always just go to that, and I wouldn't be scrolling social media, and I don't waste time wondering what I can get things done. So all of the work that I would do that had to be at my home, like laundry, like cleaning, like grocery shopping, is done when my children are awake. And all the things that I can't do when they're awake, like working on the computer, is when they are sleeping. So then nap time, quiet time is usually from until 3 or 3:30. I have found that activities such as creative activities like art, coloring, drawing, and outdoor activities like walking, playing catch, that kind of stuff are great in the afternoon. That schedule has really worked well with us as well. And so that's when we would just try to get those things done. So I could sometimes go for a walk in the afternoons, finish doing things around the house, and just hang out with the kids some more, of course. And then, of course, it came to dinner time, and it was we're eating again. So just getting dinner ready, helping them. My kids are picky eaters, and so we just always try to kind of, get them exposed to something new and help involve them so they can kind of see what food is like and do dinner time. We were very restrictive in this house about not watching a lot of TV, but that really did change, to be quite honestly, with the the pandemic going on and us working from home and trying to get things done. And so if I let my children watch TV, for the most part, it is actually academic, channels and stations. We have some YouTube subscriptions we love, and we have some Netflix shows that we do love. And we let them watch things like documentaries with us if we do eat dinner in front of the television or something like that. But then it becomes evening time, and evening time is when we did try to get outside or just, again, do more playing inside. Make sure they're always involved, getting cleaned up, cleaning up the house, cleaning up the toys, and then the evening we do bath and bedtime routines. And so now it sounds like a lot of this revolves around the kids' schedules, but of course it does with a 3 and 5-year-old. And so again, most of the work that I would do in terms of for my business happened when my children were sleeping. So I know what it's like to have your kids not go to bed when you want them to go to bed. So I have really struggled with that. There are a lot of nights when sometimes my little boy is up trying to find out what I'm doing at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And so that has happened as well. And I know what that's like. I know how it is to fit things in. But in order to get all the things done that I've done, I rarely ever watch television. I'm just not someone that's really interested in it. I would rather read a book or work on my business or do something fun in one of my Facebook groups or something like that instead. And so it depends on what your goals are. If those are things you are wanting to happen, then you know what the sacrifice is to turn those things off and turn on what it is that's going to help you get to the next step in your life. And so that's a super quick rundown of just an example of the day in my life, specifically the past couple months of spring 2020, whenever you might be watching this. But if you have questions about the schedule or you have tips for work at home moms, I would absolutely love to hear them. And I hope this helps you have a super productive super amazing and successful, happy and healthy day. Thanks.